Welcome to the first presentation for Week 4 of GA103. In this week's presentations, we will be discussing punctuation in relationship to typography, grid forms, and layout.
As a graphic designer, we spend a lot of time working with copy. Sometimes we write the copy, other times it is given to us. Regardless, it is important to understand the rules of punctuation and what each mark is used for. We will now cover the names and usages of punctuation marks. Semicolon is used as a stronger division than a comma to make meaning clear in a sentence where commas are already being used for other purposes. It often replaces a conjunction such as and or but. Ampersand represents the word and. An asterisk is used to indicate a footnote. The number sign is used to replace the letters number as an abbreviation for the word number. A bullet is used to introduce items in a list. Angle brackets or chevrons are used to enclose highlighted material. Some dictionaries use angle brackets to enclose short excerpts illustrating the usage of words. True angle brackets are not available on a typical keyboard, so the less than and greater than symbols are used. A colon is used as punctuation mark after a word introducing a quotation, an explanation, an example, or a series, and often after the salutation of a business letter. It may be used as a mathematical symbol between numbers or groups of numbers in expressions of time and ratios. The comma is used to indicate a separation of ideas or elements within the structure of a sentence. Parentheses enclose an explanatory or qualifying word, clause, or sentence inserted into a passage with which it is not necessarily any grammatical connection, also called round brackets or round braces. Square brackets, used to set off an interruption within a direct quotation, to insert a qualifying word or phrase into a quotation, to change an uppercase letter to a lowercase one, often used in a quotation or a poem, or to mark a mistake of spelling or grammar that occurs in the original quotation. Curly brackets or braces, sometimes used in prose to indicate a series of equal choices. Select your entree, spaghetti, lasagna, ravioli, and place your order with the waitress. In mathematics, curly braces are used to delimit sets. The @ sign is a symbolic abbreviation for the word at. Its formal name comes from its commercial use in invoices. It's used as part of email addresses, for example, jdoe@domain.com. Other cultures have different names for the @ symbol. We see those listed here. This is something that died with the typewriter. Since the invention of graphic design and the computer, we no longer need to place two spaces after a period. This might be new information to you, for others a duh moment. It is important in text type that there should only be one space after a period. Two spaces were used on typewriters, monospaced, creating a pause between sentences. Variable spacing now provides each character with its own spacing, so no need for extra spaces. The use of two spaces creates an awkward visual white space that interrupts the smooth, even gray of the text on the page. To check spaces, go to Show Indivisibles. In design, we often use three types of dashes: the hyphen, the end dash, and the em dash. We will now go over the usages for each. Hyphens are used when a word is broken and continues to the next line. It's the shortest dash and obtained through the hyphen or dash key on the keyboard. Short dashes, or end dashes, are used in body copy or phrases to replace the word to in the copy, for example, January to February or 30 to 40. It is obtained by holding the Option key and clicking the hyphen or dash key. Long dashes, or em dashes, are used in copy, not two hyphens, dash dash, to show a shift to a new topic. They are obtained by holding the Shift plus Option key and clicking the hyphen or dash key. The AM and PM signs are often punctuated incorrectly. It is important that the AM and PM is in small caps within text to prevent AM and PM from being perceived as part of a word. It is considered correct to set them in all small caps. Often, depending on your typeface choice, prime marks can look like curly quotes or vice versa. It is important to not only be aware of that, but also realize the correct usage of both. Prime marks are used to indicate feet and inches. Single curly quotes are used for apostrophes or a quote within a quote. Double curly quotes are used to indicate words that someone is speaking. You want to make sure that you are copying and pasting from one document to another, that you check your correct punctuation marks. The ellipse is often something we don't think much of. However, it is important that we use ellipse rather than inserting 3 periods in a row. So you should use an ellipse by typing option plus semicolon and not typing in 3 periods. In an ellipse, the periods are much closer together and formatted for the text. Spaced out periods will create white gaps in your text and slow down the reading. We also want to make sure that we are using the correct format for bullets. There are a few things to keep in mind. Make sure that your bullets are not too large for your text. If so, reduce the point size of the bullets and baseline shift them up into place. Pay attention to runovers or secondary lines of text under the bullet. Type in command plus backslash in front of the first letter of the first line. It is also a good idea to increase the leading between bullet points to separate each item. Hard and soft returns are also something to keep in mind when formatting text. With a hard return, the computer assumes that you want to start a new paragraph. With a soft return, the computer thinks you want to bring a word or phrase down to the next line to prevent hyphens or bad line breaks. Click Shift plus Return for a soft return. With Enter, the computer assumes you want to move to the next linked text box, so it is important to choose the right one. Another formatting issue that only graphic designers and layout artists think about are widows and orphans. We want to make sure that we avoid both as they look awkward and read poorly. With a widow, you see the last line of a paragraph, there is only one word by itself. Either bring the word up to the previous line by tightening the tracking, or bring down another word using soft return so it isn't alone. The saying kill the widow means do whatever it takes to get rid of the word by itself. With an orphan, either the first or last line of a paragraph is separated in a different column from the rest of the lines of the paragraph. Try adjusting column width or length to move the last line up or down. Here is a visual example of both a widow and an orphan.